Ford has yet another recall. I mean, I can't complain. It's like endless content at this point, but I'm trying to build something on my website. But at the same time, I keep seeing these recall reports come through and I just have to do a video on it. This is coming in July 7th from Ford, 850,318 vehicles affected, mostly, they say, light duty. All right, vehicles affected. The 21 through 23 Ford F550, 21 through 23 450, the 21 through 23 350, the 250, the Navigator, 21 through 22, 21 through 23 Aviator, the 21 through 22 Ford Mustang, 21 through 22 F150, the 21 through 23 Ford Explorer, 22 Ford Expedition, 21 through 23 Ford Bronco. It's essentially a fuel pump failure. The affected vehicles may lose fuel pressure and flow from the fuel delivery module due to failure of the low pressure fuel pump. This can cause a lack of fuel delivery to the engine and result in an engine stall while driving. It does say if you have one of these vehicles and you notice like before this actually happens, it seems like some of the symptoms are prior to fuel pump failure. The customer may experience poor engine performance, misfiring or running rough, check engine light, reduced engine power. Fuel pump failure is more likely to occur in a low fuel or warm weather or hot fuel conditions in the fuel tank. And for those of you wondering, this fuel pump is a Tier 2 manufacturer, Finia Inc., and it is made in Mexico, Chihuahua. And for those of you wondering, when people say, I'm not buying a vehicle made after 2020, this is a perfect example of why. They say CCRG discovered that vehicles were all produced between July 2021 and July 2022, and then they kind of went on to investigate more of that due to the supplier. It says Ford found that the supplier had made changes to the jet pump process to accommodate an increase in build complexity in June of 2021 and identified that a Tier 3 supplier for the Gen 4.6 fuel pump pumping chamber was not statistically capable for internal clearances and utilizing the full tolerance range of the supplier specifications. As of June 6, 2025, it says they've had 1,860 warranty claims. They actually estimate 10% of these are affected out of 850,000, which that's a pretty big number. Usually in these NHTSA complaints, it's like they always put 1% as the default because they really don't know. Seems like they really know that this is going to affect a lot of them. And I do think it's interesting that they always claim that it's like a short window, like 2021 through 2023. Yet if you look here, the description of the remedy is under development. When the remedy is available, owners will be notified by mail. It makes you question what's real and what isn't and what they're not telling you. Because if you're saying that everything past 2023 is fine and good, wouldn't the remedy be to use the pump that is supposedly good in all the new vehicles? I don't know. Call me crazy. And not to be outdone by Ford, almost on the same day, General Motors, the Chevy Blazer EV recall. Parking brakes might engage while driving. I mean, you almost can't. It's like, I feel like I'm reading Babylon Bee headlines for recalls. Like, how does this even happen? If you're writing software for these vehicles, how is there not some override in the software that says, hey man, if we have any gyroscope data, speed data from the wheels, we do not engage the parking brake? Oh, so get this. The Chevy Blazer EV recall affects more than 40,000 electric vehicles because the parking brakes may suddenly engage while driving. If that's not bad enough, it also has the possibility of the parking brakes may fail to function and allow the Blazer to like roll away. So they don't work when they're parked and then they work when they're driving. Seems like they maybe just got the programming backwards or something. Turns out the design routing of the parking brake wiring harness does not sufficiently inhibit flexing of the wires that may cause shorting or breaking of the wires from normal driving conditions. Sounds like it was really tested well in the real world, doesn't it? I mean, these are 24s and 25s. They haven't been out that long and they're already exhibiting this behavior. How much could they have possibly tested these vehicles? Come on. And even more in July for Ford again. Ford issues its 11th backup camera recall in 2025. More than 200,000 Fords and Lincolns recalled due to the rear camera failures. I'm not going to read them all off, but There are all the affected vehicles. Hey, look at that. 2018 and up, pretty much, right? Makes sense. And the description of this defect is an error in the sync software that can cause system instability concerns. And it gives, black screen on your infotainment. Just kind of goes to show the lack of testing. They're taking all these parts from a bunch of different manufacturers. They're trying to integrate everything into one car. Probably not testing it long enough. Man, what a mess. New cars are they're being eaten by software, and these manufacturers can't keep up with all of the problems. They're starting to find out that QAing software is actually really a pain in the butt. And keep in mind, this is all just July recalls. The Kia Niro EVs recalled for backup camera failures. I mean, it doesn't matter what brand. And in this issue with the Kias, they actually had circuit board damage that they found. So they're assuming that there's a voltage surge or something going on in the car. Another one on July 2nd, Subaru Forester recalls their child seat anchors. So it looks like they had 3,000 Foresters recalled to inspect and tighten the anchors. Apparently, they just didn't tighten these child seat anchors. So, I mean, it's just your kids, though. I mean, is it really that big a deal? Come on. Looks like they had an inadequate work instruction to install these bolts in the child seat. It says the child seat may not be anchored properly during a crash, increasing the risk of injury. And more proof that software is eating the car. BMW i-Series recalled, issued due to prevent stalled vehicles. So the 2022 through 2025 i4s, i5s, i7s, looks like in certain vehicle configurations, the software may erroneously detect a double isolation condition. As a fail-safe measure, it just shuts down the high voltage system, which kills your power for 15 to 20 seconds. And then you still have power assisted steering and brakes, but just kills the power. That's pretty cool. Loss of drive power just randomly. That's awesome. And in case you were wondering how Ford's doing in 2025, this is why Farley and Ford was kind of freaking out and their stock was tanking. This is the picture in 2025. So from January to today, Ford's got 40% of the pie here, 89 recalls. And everybody else is just a small piece of the pie. We've got Chrysler coming in there, Volkswagen. We've got General Motors as 15 recalls, which GM's got some pretty bad ones though. So it also depends on the severity of the recall. I would even say that GM's 6.2 liter recall and some of their transmission issues are actually worse than some of Ford issues. Ford just has more recalls overall, which is, man, they're dwarfing everybody. Not a good trend. Let me know what you guys think. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time.